And here we are.
And I have a funny feeling that we are live.
Two places.
My name is Dennis Schiraldi, and I want to welcome you as the founder of DOYO Live to the DOYO Live Marketing Show. Today we've got a really awesome lineup. We're talking about an integrated marketing, digital, and we're going to take a look back into 2016, going to jump into the DeLorean and talk a little bit about what happened in 2016 and see what we got right. See, we got run out because of bad connection. All right, here we go.
Here we are.
Back. And
we're back.
Also in 2017, coming up,
we're going to end this one.
My guy, that's the co-pilot here, Mr. Michael Pontikos, Socket Knot Branding and Design, a DOYO Live benefactor, and also DOYO Live creative director, brought the Magic 8 Ball. We're going to take a look in the Magic 8 Ball and make some predictions for 2017. So it's going to be an action-packed, fun show. Today's being brought to you by Valley Digital Services. They are also a DOYO Live benefactor. Parent companies are WFMJ, The Vindicator, and they have a full comprehensive offering with their digital services and their traditional. So that's a little bit what we're going to talk about there. We're going to tell you how to get a $100 ticket to DOYO Live before the end of the year. We have actually secured our keynote speaker. She's amazing, not in the Donald Trump kind of way, but she's amazing.
Yeah, it's yeah.
And so we're really excited. We're not going to we're just going to tease that a little bit today, but we have over 25 people that have submitted to speak at DOYO Live, and both super early bird tickets and also call for speakers is open until December 31st. So we're going to get into it today. There's an article that was posted by my good friend Mike Pontikos here about how Google Analytics has changed the way that we look at marketing today and has really, for the lack of a better terms, ruined it.
Yeah, pretty
Is that a little aggressive?
A little aggressive. It hasn't ruined it completely, but it was interesting to hear exactly how much we've put into Google Analytics, because everybody, and we hear in the media and everything, how everything is going digital, got to go digital. And we never had that before. You know, when everybody thinks digital, it's like, okay, well, digital TV, digital this, digital that. And, you know, we hear mobile and digital all becoming synonymous with what we need to do. But then how do we do it? You know, what do we get to do? We have all these different vehicles that are driving our marketing message. And it's great that we have at our fingertips analytics to the extent that we had to pay a lot of money for them at one point in time, going through Nielsen, which you still can do, Experian Media, you know, all these different things. So now it's like, well, we have this at our fingertips. So now let's get our marketing and push it through on this digital platform.
So one of the big issues that I have with digital marketing, first of all, I love digital marketing. I founded a digital marketing conference.
It's kind of hard not to like it if you do that.
In early 10 years ago, marketing in healthcare, when it was completely unacceptable to really be online marketing healthcare related businesses and services. But with that said, we held ourselves in digital marketing to a higher standard of accountability. And what I mean by that is when you did traditional advertising up to 2007, connecting the dots and wasn't as clear as it is, or like we like to believe that it is with digital marketing. We can see from Google's perspective of where we get our web traffic. There's marketing analytics in marketing automation software. There's social media insights that tell us where our traffic's coming from, what's trending, what's not. And it's a completely valuable tool. But up to that point too, and from a marketing perspective, it was okay just to go out and build awareness and get a lot of eyeballs to your content.
Oh, absolutely. And we're trying to get that, where do we go from here? You know, and when you're looking at digital marketing and what we've done and how the web has changed the playing field is to the extent that small business owners, medium-sized business owners who don't have the capital to go into a full-blown, let's say, you know, television campaign,
right,
spend millions of dollars. I mean, you figure the Super Bowl is going to be close to $6 million for a spot this year.
Right.
So that's a lot of money. Whereas the digital landscape has kind of like made a small mom and pop shop out there and their presence larger. And now they can actually have access to those analytics to help them gauge what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. But you have to have that complete message to go out. You have to have a good brand, which is also a key thing too. not just to say, hey, we're going to go up online and we're going to have this or we're going to have that, and then all of a sudden you don't have, you don't have the brand and the following to do it, because that would kind of suck, actually.
Yeah, you definitely got to build an audience. I see Ross Marone joined us, and glad that he stopped by to drive by today. Ross presented at DOYO Live in 2016, and it's such a viable topic for what his presentation was talking about.
Right.
How to use big data in your digital marketing decisions, talking about how traditional marketing, the fact that, and you take the Super Bowl as the prime example, but you could distill that down, to everything becomes relative to regional politics, religion, and everything of the above. There's the fact that you're small business owner that needs to go out and, they looked at purchasing a billboard that costs $5,000 and you get 1 month. The newspaper comes on Sunday, and how many people are actually reading that, and where are the eyeballs?
Right.
And the fact of the matter is that 90% of all your business decisions, whether you're purchasing pizza, a car, or a Christmas gift for your kid, is going to start generally with online search. But with that said, how do you then, if I'm out here today and I'm looking for stuff to purchase for the holidays, what's the viability then for the local business? How do they take that online strategy, get themselves found, but then what's the traditional aspect of incorporating the two?
I think it's the conversion. What we always hear about digital marketing, it's about converting leads and getting them and bringing them into your company, into your site, and hopefully they're eating and digesting the content that you give them. Now, once you get them hooked, that's when you have to use those traditional means. And especially if you're a big brand too. I mean, J. Crew, for instance, okay, great brand. Well, I still get their catalog. They send me a printed catalog. I go to their website, I go to their stores. So as a consumer of theirs, as a customer of theirs, they're keeping all those touch points viable to me. They're keeping those touch points. I'm like, okay, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what's it going to be. Because what they do is they have that brand. They have that look and feel that is J. Crew, or you have that look and feel that is Starbucks. And when you're going to go in there and when you're going to buy a cup of coffee, even though it could spend, X amount of dollars on coffee, but they know how to keep you coming back for more. And that's what you want as a brand. When you tell that story, you want to make sure that people are coming back for more. Hooking them with their coffee, hooking them with their,
When you're looking through that J. Crew publication and they have a QR code, will you scan on it to see what the story is behind that when they're integrating both in their digital strategy? They're pulling you in, you're looking online, you're getting the magazine to your house, and if they have a QR code, do you scan on those ever?
I very rarely, because depending on what you have too, again, here's what you have to look at your audience. So if it warrants having that QR code, then yeah, because they're going to use it. And now using, let's say, a QR code for augmented reality, to show, IKEA does a great job with that in their printed catalog where they actually have a QR code. And then you can actually you could print out a sheet and then you can place it and actually see what their Jurgenbergen, whatever couch or, Schusterbergen, shelf.
Which you're going to be putting together for
the next 5 days. And then just like, why do I have one of these screws left over? What did I do here? But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of cool. But then you could place it in this augmented reality, in this world of where you're like, wow, to see what it looks like. And that's a great idea. Then, of course, it's the experience. A lot of times, too, with these companies, it's about the experience in their stores, where you're going to be going there and you'll be seeing that, And there's certain things that you can do that with. Clothing is a little bit different because you want to try on clothes. But if you know what you like and then you buy it and then you can order online as well. So you have to have all those touch points. You can't just stop at digital, which I love it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I teach, also at Youngstown State, in the marketing department, and with my advertising club, we're always talking about digital and what we have to do to get that experience so that people can have that same experience with everything.
Yep.
When they get a direct mail piece, to drive them to, a landing page, and then so they can get more content. You can only do so much. It's almost like a teaser for a movie. Why do we have teasers in movies? Get people excited.
Right.
Tease them. That's the name, teaser. So it's the same thing with a direct mail piece. You get something in the mail, and then it's like, hey, I gotta check this out.
So let's distill this down to, we have a lot of small to mid-sized businesses, so we use some pretty big examples with some pretty big brands. So now you're a local clothing boutique. and they come to you and they say, I've got 5,000 customers in my database, and I want to send them all one postcard. Good idea or bad idea?
You got to see what.
No, good idea or bad idea?
Good idea.
Really?
Good idea, because then here's the thing.
Okay.
Got my coffee. I need a little bit more coffee. It's
You have to be properly caffeinated to hang out.
Properly caffeinated.
So here's my thing. Here, I'm gonna jump in, because here's a tactical strategy that I think that all small businesses can go out today. We have some accountants that have jumped on. We've got some store owners. We've got some small business owners.
Hi, everyone.
What I did with DOYO Live, and you could very easily do this with a direct strategy, is that don't allow. Let's turn that out. Don't allow. And not now. We won't change our Apple password. And nobody. That was an interesting message. Not in Columbus, Ohio. So anyway, here's where I'm at with this. What I did with DOYO Live is that we didn't have this big elaborate marketing budget. It was a very lean operation that's being gentle, shoestring. But we knew even as a digital marketing company, there's people or a marketing company event, there's people in our audience that are trying to cross the chasm into digital, so they're not really online as much, and we're providing the platform to educate them. So what I did is, from an email perspective, I developed a pattern. And what we did is we launched an email marketing campaign that went about 8 weeks. After about an 8-week time span of hitting people with frequency in the message, I then took that data and mined it. And I said, okay, out of that 5,000 people.
That's the key word, is
right?
mining your data.
Mine your data. Mine your data.
Data, tomato.
He's Greek, I'm Italian.
Surprised we can actually get 2 words in with this one. Hey.
So we mine that information. We take that now 5,000 down to 200 or 300.
Right.
And instead of sending them, I believe is that one postcard to 5,000 people versus 5 postcards to 300 people. I think I'm willing to hedge and go all in on those 300 people that already have brand awareness in order to convert them. I get the awareness play with the 5,000, but if my budget is limited to 5,000, the budget would be to spend. I could spend one time to 5,000 or 5 times to 300 people. That's math still doesn't work out, but I do the 300. But that's just one way. That's a strategy that I think that an accountant today can go out, and they have 100 people that they're working with in their customer base or trying to get their hands on. They can send 25 holiday cards to the people that they engage with the most.
Well, and that's why you have to use that, and that's what's a good thing to do, is that you have, again, whether it's digital, whether it's a direct mail piece, whether it's a television commercial, radio, whatever you're going to use in your arsenal that you have, and also for your budget, you have to make sure too that it's going to fit everywhere and be consistent. And that's where a lot of people lose faith, is that it's not consistent, or they don't let it build. It's like, okay, well, I can go on Facebook and it's free and free. Well, you have to have people using it and working it and knowing and understanding that. And that's the whole thing too. If you are a boutique clothing store and you have a 5,000 member mailing list, well, then you're going to also want to mine down further how many times a week has that person, or a month shopped there, or, throughout the year shopped there, and how much money they've spent. So you want to look at all these analytics, which is kind of nice too. Is like, again, that way you can send those people who are spending more money at your store and bring them in.
Figure out the touch points. And the traditional marketing principles hold up.
Absolutely.
Right? Consistency. That's what you're saying.
Well, that's the promotion side of it.
Right.
You have
like
to be,
if you sell widgets, you better make sure that every time you show up that you're mentioning that you sell widgets. And I think that when people look at digital and the low barrier to entry, just like, I could create the message today and put it out there.
Right.
And the free part is the time, or that you got the time involved. But like when you do a postcard, you really got to focus in on making sure that everything's right, because once you pay to print that, and people lose that association with the online aspect.
Exactly. And the thing is too, is like you want to have a great campaign too, and how it's designed and how it looks. So you have to differentiate yourself. Now think about it. Everybody's going to be doing digital, right? Since it's out there and we have access to it a lot quicker. You know, we can go on and we could set up a business within a couple hours, which is great.
Right.
But again, it's what are you going to do after that? So you set it up, you're bringing people in. Well, then how are you going to keep going? What if they're not online all the time? How are you going to keep them coming back for more? Figure, and when I spoke at DOYO Live this past year, when I was, of course, on print and everything, and how it still is a major player in what we're doing. Think about it that way, too, is because now it's like, oh, hey, I got to get this out to people. I got to keep them going, because Google changes their algorithm 500 to 600 times
There
a
he
year.
is. He dropped an algorithm.
I dropped it. Boom. Algorithm time. Have no idea. I mean, you figure Google spent, their algorithm is worth like $500 billion.
First of all, if you know the show, right? So the people in the background are not making decisions based on mathematical equations. I really believe that Facebook has employed the minions, and in the backdrop, they press the buttons as to what we see and what we don't see. The trolls feel more like Twitter. The Smurfs, very friendly people. I think they're maybe at Google.
Oh, Papa Smurf.
Yeah, they work hard. So like they're the ones that are making the decision as to how information populates in the Google search.
Yeah.
But if you want to use the complex,
I'm not going to, it's...
no, I'm joking.
Yeah, I know. But think about it, though. They're changing it all the time. So,
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not, it could be good, it could be bad, because they're trying to get all the crap that's out of there. Now, think about it, too. What's been in the news recently, okay, with all this fake news and these news stories? Well, there's a lot of consumers who are getting bit by that, too, with a lot of these companies where they're popping up all over the place about dresses, and they're stealing images from other websites and posting them on their website for these dresses, and then by the time a person gets something, it's like, what is this? Is that a blood stain, or is that supposed to be that way? So the thing is, while they're changing those algorithms to get rid of all the junk that's out there, well, think about the small mom and pop shop, who all of a sudden, they're not popping up anywhere, right? So if they're changing their algorithm 500-600 times a year, that could also be screwing up with your marketing efforts. So now where you have to have that consistency with print, which it's a lot cheaper now. People don't realize that you have to print a full color postcard is pennies anymore. So now here's the thing too, is like if you know your customers well, and you're supposed to, and keeping contact with them, their address, their physical mailbox changes 11 times in their lifetime. And usually when they hit their 30s and 40s, they're not going any for a while, because if they have kids and they're in a school district, they're not going to go. So that mailbox is going to be there. That's not going to change. It's not going to come in like Google's going to come in and sweep down and take their mailbox and put it somewhere else. Or the post office is going to come and say, no, we're going to take this mailbox now. Well, you can't have that. We're going to put it behind your house. No, it's going to be there. So the post office
that's a good analogy.
is going to be there. U.S. Post Service isn't going to say, no, we want your mailbox back. You're not going to get your mail. It's going to be in that mailbox. And people want to see that. Airbnb has a printed magazine.
Yeah. So here's what I think about that. I think that as let's take big corporate businesses out of it because of the resources that they have available. Although in a B2B environment, I was cash strapped even at a big company with just $1 million budget.
$1 million budget.
It was just $1 million budget, but
I had a $500,000 budget.
I mean, right? So in the small,
Yeah.
in that small business environment, it makes complete sense though to go to online, exhaust, get really good and dominate. Like if it's Google plus Facebook plus email marketing,
Right.
dominate it.
Right.
And as you grow the business and generate revenue, it does make sense to have something that you could put in somebody's hand. Look, traditional media still has the majority of the eyeballs that are out there today. Now, the fact is, I get it, and this is me perfectly. I'm binge watching on Netflix. I've got my computer open, and I've got my smartphone. That's how I'm watching
Right.
TV, just like most of America right now. But the fact of the matter is, if there's something that's interesting enough to make me pick my eyeballs up off my computer screen, I'll do that. But the minute I see that, so another touch point, I go back to my computer and I'll Google immediately the fact that I saw something that might interest me.
Right, and that's the whole thing too. Is it's getting people's interest, and we're going to visit the places that we hear about, that we get from a viable source.
Yeah.
Okay, that we know of, on a third-party endorsement, which is the whole PR side of things. So you have your paid media, you have your earned media, and then you have your owned media.
Yep.
So, and that's the whole thing too. It's like when you get that earned media, and people are talking about you, people are everybody says, and they don't like, oh, when somebody's, Snapchatting or Instagramming their food and taking pictures of where they are, that's free advertising. So you better have a good product, so people are going to be taking a picture of their food, of your food or your store. It's like, oh my God, I had a great cup of coffee here. I had a great experience here, because now you're getting that earned media from them, which is great. And then you're going to get more likes. You're going to get, more follows. And that's what you want. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else that's out there for you is helping you to market your own business at scale, word of mouth marketing on steroids, social media.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing too. I have a client who is a local restaurant. He's got a couple locations, and he values Facebook. He values Instagram to get things out there.
Yep.
And he has a great presence, and it's grown over the last couple months.
Absolutely.
Which is good. But the thing is, he's local. So when you have a restaurant like that, sure, you can, and again, you're going to have that specific vehicle that's going to drive to those people. And now I'm sure, since they're a restaurant and their age range is from 18 to 65, the people are going to go there. But you also have to hit that other demographic that doesn't have access to Facebook, that doesn't have access, or they don't want to use it, or my dad says, oh, the internet, that's the devil. I don't want to, that's, I don't want to do anything like that. Shopping online, they're going to get my credit card and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
But there's people still think that way too. So you're losing your efforts to try and drive those people.
And by the way, the lines are so blurred. So the lines are so blurred to the point now where if you take a traditional print publication and you go to their website, Esquire, who's been a leader in QR, Internet of Things, augmented reality for 5 years now.
Oh yeah.
That publication online delivers online content plus videos plus magazine articles, and they still have the print publication as well. So they went print to digital. There's digital publications saying, "Hey, we get this. Now we've got all this following,
right,
and let's put something in your hands."
Yep.
So
I'd say the best one too, and that's the thing too, is GQ Magazine is another one.
Right.
They have a great print publication, and I had their digital version and their print version, and everything was pretty much the same. There was more interaction with, on my iPad, but everything was there. The ads were there. So it's not going to kill print, because guess what? When you're developing, especially a magazine like that, and how you design it, you're going to have it thinking in mind that you need to have it for a tablet, so that people can look at it that way. So you can go and take those links from one place, and then you have the advertisers, and you can, hyperlink that to their site. So again, it's all full circle.
Yeah.
And you have more interaction with it too. You have video in there, which is kind of nice, and a little bit behind the scenes that you can have in the digital version.
So, good stuff. We're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to see how much we got right, at least I did, and how much I got wrong. So in 2016, I wrote a blog article at the start of the year to make kind of my predictions. So most people are doing that now for 2017. Like, I don't know, I must have been asleep at the wheel last December. And then I was like, I'm going to make my predictions for the year early. So I said that in 2016, the three things that I was most focused on and looking at was the process. I was very interested in marketing and looking at people that were branding and coming up with content and showing me the process, not the varnished final product of the liquor ad or the car ad or the Kobe Bryant retirement ad by Nike. I really am loving the process behind watching that. The second goes beyond that and kind of almost live events becomes behind the scenes. So Snapchat's a really great tool that people are utilizing to capture behind the scenes. I'm looking at a number of fashion brands that are doing the same. It's like amazing access. And then the third is coming back to the fundamentals. So as we get these shiny new toys, and we got
I
Periscope.
love toys.
Right?
Oh yeah.
We get Snapchat, we got this, we got that. It's like, oh my gosh, like all these things are really cool, but then the fundamentals, always comes back to like, blocking and tackling, dribbling and passing. Like, it's really the fundamentals of utilizing Facebook to its fullest capability and extent, and the amount of development that company has delivered to the marketplace over the past year. So I think that all those things have kind of played true, at least for me. Any of those things, any companies that you saw over the past year that really dove into the documentary marketing style of showing you the process that really engaged you?
Apple.
Really?
Yeah. Amazon.
No kidding.
Yeah. How they do with their ads and their campaigns and what they're trying to do. I mean, those are two of my favorites.
So when you engage with Apple, do you do anything when Apple does their live event with they do their quarterly Apple, here's our product development? That's like a real interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like a car show, like the old school car shows, in Detroit where they had the cars, and you see like in Mad Men and all these other shows where they're building up that anticipation.
Yep.
It's like, okay, what's Apple going to do next?
Lose steam between Steve Jobs and Cook. I mean, Jobs is such an obviously all-star, rock star, personality.
It's hard. It's like it's like with anything when you lose somebody like that, because it's like when John Lennon was killed. Now you don't have anything for him to produce anymore.
Right.
So granted, you have Johnny Ive, you have Cook, and all those guys that they're still coming out with his ideas and building upon those. But a lot of times too, it was the vision. And that's what separates a good CEO from a bad CEO, is that vision and how they do everything. And what makes a brand isn't the logo, it's what they've built. It's the number one goal as far as what you are, is what kind of product you have and how you build that around there. The 4 P's of marketing, which are going to be whether it's digital or traditional. You got your price, you got your product, you got your placement, which is distribution, and you got your promotion. So we're talking more about the promotion, but if you don't have that product and that brand, building that brand, it's not going to have it. And Apple keeps doing that year in and year out.
Did you ever hear my 3 P's of marketing?
No.
I gave a TEDx talk here at the Williamson College of Business, which was the home of DOYO Live. Passion, product, and promotion. Because any day that when you wake up, if you don't love it,
no,
and you got to live it and eat it every day.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we're going to do at DOYO Live in 2017 that we're really trying to just evolve and make it different. Mike's on the committee, obviously creative director. One of the things that we're doing different in 2017 is that we're going to have kind of an exploratory, exhibition of short form documentary content marketing videos. And if you don't know what those mean, those are, if you go back and take a look at Youngstown State University's football team's hype videos, all college Division I college football teams pretty much produce these on a week-to-week basis to really kind of get you excited and promote the game, and it's giving you an insight into the locker room. Wild Turkey did this unbelievable partnership with Matthew McConaughey where they do this 10-minute documentary video.
All right.
No doubt. Couldn't be a better guy.
We don't have any Wild Turkey here, so Matthew, if you're watching, holidays are coming.
I'm a name chop, but Mila Kunis. She was the original Wild Turkey, but then they pulled in Matthew McConaughey, and he goes down to Kentucky and just talks about making bourbon with the guys, and they're all working, and it's epic. So what we want to do in 2017 is we want to take a room here at the Williams College of Business, book it off for short form video submissions, and we'll just keep those on a loop, kind of running all day long. So it's an awesome opportunity for local video makers in businesses to take access. We'll have 400 to 600 people here in 2017. But that's a nice segue into
Magic 8 Ball time.
Thank you so much for picking that up today. So 2017 is going to be a big year. There's a lot of stuff going on. So I don't know. I don't think that any of these are very wild or wild off predictions. I've got like maybe 1 or 2. My first one is that if you don't think video was big in 2016, it's just going to continue to dominate. Instagram launched their live application.
Yep.
So there's a difference between obviously video, but video's the 40,000 foot description, and then you have your plan creation, your streaming, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. 74% of all internet traffic in 2017 will be driven by video. 300% of that traffic will be consumed over a mobile device, and 157% increases in organic traffic to websites and social media sites as a result of video. If you look at Nike, who's always been a leader in the marketing space, on their Facebook page, they will publish 2 posts per week, and it's always a 1 to 2 to 5 minute short video. Now, obviously, they've got the budget to do it.
Oh yeah, they're Nike.
They're producing amazing content videos. They have a static post, probably it's the opposite. It's 8 videos 2 times a week, and then maybe 1 static post. So
here we go.
I think
Got my lucky hat, my lucky holiday hat.
What do you think? Video in 2017, dominate the landscape, not dominate the landscape? I mean, what's your take?
I think it will advance brands because the technology is there. So I think it'll increase. I don't think it's going to dominate everything, but I think it will be that focus that people are going, because we live in a world now where everything is, of course, we have a production company basically in our back pocket.
Yeah.
So, and it's easy, hopefully, to see more, let's say better content and better videos. And I think people are getting, they want the rawness. They want that whole, feel of, yeah, this is live, but you also have to have good production value, especially when you're going to be promoting something, when you're going to be promoting your company.
Yeah. As
long as it's done well and it's done the right way, and it's not used to say, hey, this is our product, and building that story. I think it's not along with video is going to be dominant. It's also about building that relationship.
Same format, by the way, just applies. Like, the people that are getting out there on social media and saying buy, those days are not beyond us. And it's numbing, and people can't figure out why they don't get the engagement. So now the only thing they're going to do is they're going to take the post with the picture, and they're going to try and turn it into video and say, they're gonna look like Sunday, come by, right? And it's gonna be the
let's go racing.
It's gonna be the big Gumby, and they're not gonna tell the story. But I really believe this. So this right now with video and live video giving us the opportunity to be able to do this, it feels like 2007, 2008 on Facebook, when people were like, okay, I'm on this Facebook thing, what do I post? Now live video is like, what do I use it for? And this is good, bad, or indifferent, and it's probably more towards the bad than the good and indifferent.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that we will all be, within the next, I'd say, year to 3 years and beyond, everybody will be walking around with their own reality TV show.
Which is scary.
Without a doubt, Magic 8 Ball. Will Dennis and Mike be Facebook Live reality TV stars? Reply hazy. Try again. Oh, we didn't get a no.
We didn't get a no.
That's always good in our world. Most likely. Magic 8 Ball's always right.
This is like old school marketing tool right here.
And I'll couple this with this, that video is the format. I'm going all in 2017 on video. I've looked at organic reach being just practically broken and dead on social media. Not so much on Instagram, but especially on Facebook, that we will basically look to try and play in the video space predominantly in 2017 and not just give so much of that content, that blog content.
Well, and actually, it's funny too, because the one client that I have that is in the restaurant industry, we're talking about launching a YouTube channel for him.
Yeah.
And doing like 3.5 minute cooking segments.
Totally.
So that, people, because a lot of times people come into his restaurant, oh, how do you make that, this and that? And, he wants to show them like everything that goes into it. And then, of course,
It's insane for the restaurant owner not to be out there telling people how to cook stuff, because I can't eat at your restaurant 7 nights a week. And they know that and they get that. And if they can do that and build up that authority and teach me how to cook, I'm going to love them even more. So when I do come up on a Friday night and decide, hey, I got these 5 restaurants, I'm going to be like, that guy, has been showing me how to cook in my own house. I'm going to go support him.
It's about educating people. And that's the whole thing. It's not going to be a sale.
Right.
So
that comes into authentic storytelling.
Exactly, and that's the key thing too.
And that's my number 2 big one for this year, is just being as authentic. And
just that segue.
I'm trying to just even bring it even I feel like I'm a pretty transparent guy and very authentic with this, but I'm even trying to get even more personal with it. I think that we're probably going to introduce some content video in 2017 talking about failure, little micro failures, like the time that when I got started in my marketing career and I was asked by a company that I was working for to put together to get a street sign, and I got the $20,000 sign, and when we dropped the banner on it, there was a big misspelling.
Nice. That's always fun. We've all had those.
And then 10 years later, when I saw that guy at a trade show, there's 60,000 people at this huge healthcare trade show, and I run into him, and he does. I remember him hey, Don, how you been? He goes, are you the sign guy?
Oh, God. Yeah, we've all had those.
So that's the type of
it shows that you're human though too. You're gonna have those failures, but it's how you pick yourself back up and go to that next one. It's okay. Some people are afraid of it.
Right, exactly, and that's what this Facebook Live thing is. People are afraid to turn it on.
Yeah.
So thanks for dropping by today.
Thanks, Demi.
Tell the good folks at Greenwood Chevrolet that we will give them some props on our Facebook Live today. And yes, Mr. Mike Pontikos has a great hat.
Like that? I gotta get another.
Number 3 on our list, my list for predictions in 2017. Networks versus the hub and spoke model of digital marketing. So all digital marketing works like this in a sense. You take your website and you put it at in the middle of the old wagon wheel.
Yep.
And that's the hub, not very mechanical. And then you have all your spokes: social media, email, webinars, traditional media, right? And everything we're going to do is we're going to point people back with the call to action to come visit our website. We capture their email address, and then we email the crap out of them. And that's how all internet marketing has worked, because of where we started today with Google Analytics. We want to know where the traffic's coming from. Right. And my problem, my issue with that at this point, where I've been struggling with this since back in September, is people are completely happy living in this house in the country or in the city, and all of a sudden somebody roots them up and displaces them someplace else for some crazy reason. And that's my analogy for the hub and spoke model, is if you're on Facebook, or if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Twitter, if you're on a website, if you're on a blog, shouldn't you just be comfortable and happy living there? That's where you want to get your information. Right. So Omnichannel is saying we want to deliver information when and how and wherever we want to, and that's how we want to interact with brands. So I'm thinking to myself that I'm trying to get away from every post, and I don't do this now, but posts that actually will push people from LinkedIn over to my website, because I think they're going to magically love me even more. And I want interesting, compelling content to live on Facebook, and be perfectly happy with the fact that I have an audience on Facebook. I can communicate with them on Facebook. I could count up all the stats on Facebook. And if they never come to my website, I could live with that. And I want to do the same for LinkedIn, the same for Twitter. And what will happen is, I think the more that you engage with them in that Facebook ecosystem, and they see it, and then they're going to start to say, 5, 7, 10, it could be a month, 3 months, 6 months down the road, I'll go to that website. But I want them to go on their own. And the reason is that I think that conversion is going to be 100% stronger than if they click the link and they go, because Google stats tell me that people spend 2.5 minutes per visit onto my website. So if I stop doing that and people are then naturally coming there, because my direct traffic is telling me that they spend 5 minutes on my website, I think I'm going to build up a bigger, stronger fan
Well,
base.
and what you want to do too is you want to make sure that all those spokes are working together, because then, and people are going to be different too. You have to look at where your hub is going to be.
Correct.
Okay? So like with DO Live and with, you know, our marketing firms, is like a lot of it is online. But then you have that, let's say, brick and mortar store. Okay, let's say you have the restaurant. So that's going to be the hub where people are going to be coming and eating. But you have to have that, you know, that's like, again, when you're looking at the brand of a company, that's where everything is going to be coming into. Now you have your website is going to be that external, which is like kind of like that second layer of the hub.
Yeah.
You know,
So
now you're
establishing multiple hubs, like literally like all over. And what I look at is just establishing as big a networks as I possibly can, even in person,
right,
and online. And if I have a print publication that, you know, people are, you know, that I've got an audience there that likes that and wants to engage with me there, I'm just going to live with that.
Right.
And eventually, if they want to cross the chasm into the digital world and subscribe to the email newsletter, fantastic. We'll grow the crap out of it, and we'll give away value, which we do. So you want to come to DO Live in 2017 for a $100 ticket. This is for our exclusive email subscribers. And
pinky when you say that.
yeah, I know, right?
$100.
I know, right? I should have said this in the first 5 minutes. So our exclusive email subscribers and our loyal fans, if you want to get a $100 promo code to DOYO Live, subscribe to our email list. I will send you over a promo code. It's going to save you $125 off your registration for DOYO Live. Right now, we've got 10 people already registered for 2017. We've got 25 breakout sessions that we've got to review
And
to see who's getting. And there's still people sign up, and we have a keynote.
And a keynote from
Has ties
to this
back
area.
to the Youngstown area.
Yep.
The next one that I want to talk about, so subscribe to our email list. You'll get a promo code. You'll get into DO Live for $100. It's a steal. Full price ticket is going to be $225. We're going to have workshops built on the front of DOYO. We're introducing some new stuff, so it's going to be bigger, better, and a lot funner.
You need to have a primer on.
It's funner, appropriate in a place of higher learning, an institution of higher learning where I actually teach.
Well, look at us.
All right, here's my last one. This is like out there stuff. So my last one is going to be this is like the bold one. So wait, hold on. Magic 8 Ball.
You're dropping the magic 8 ball, man.
Will networks replace the hub and spoke model of the internet? Yes, definitely. Dude, I'm money. All right, last one. Very aggressive play for me. Artificial intelligence, machine-based learning, SEO as we know it is dead. If whatever you know about SEO today, machine-based learning, Siri's already proven that. You ask Siri for a recommendation, you'll get one thing that she'll repeat back to you. Amazon's got Alexa, Google has their machine-based learning as well. And right now, the way that search works, Watson, you type something in the search, it tells you something back. We're going to the point where these mechanisms by these huge companies are driving this. You're going to hit buttons. You're talking to a machine, and the machine's going to talk to another machine, and it's going to make a recommendation. And everything that we know about keyword and all this stuff, Facebook recommendations is word of mouth marketing at scale, and it has very little to do with keywording. It has everything to do with you saying what are my recommendations are based on, and then it's talking back. And if you go out and you Google this, you'll find that Google's got some very smart people, and they're like, we got Dr. Mike Sevilla on the line today, so glad he's doing a drive.
How you doing,
Mike? Mike's a baller in the physician world. He speaks all over the country on social media marketing and use case applications for healthcare and physicians. And he spoke at DOYO Live in 2016. We're loving the fact that we are definitely going to get him back here again by any means necessary. And he can relate to this. So like Google's utilizing deep neuro-based like neurology, psychology to understand how they implement that into artificial intelligence. And it's really scary a little bit because Elon Musk even says like, people are going to use it for good and for bad. And obviously like Elon, if you've ever seen the Tesla, my neighbor's got 2 of them now. The thing pulls itself in and out of the garage. It's got a flat screen TV in it that is basically runs off the Google platform, and it tells them everything that they need to know about the car on a regular basis. So I look at this deep neuro Alexa. Do you have Alexa? Do you have you use Siri?
Yeah.
You use it?
No.
Because if you want a good Greek restaurant, you're obviously not going to trust somebody.
There aren't any around here yet. So, but no, and that's the thing too. And one of the key things, with everything that we've been talking about, is even with artificial intelligence, it's also the team that you have working for you. You have to, and which we didn't really touch too much on though, is service. And that's going to be a key factor too, especially if you have a brick and mortar place.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a boutique or a restaurant or insurance company, it's that personal service. The AI stuff is going to get you so far. It's going to help you, with your analytics and, wondering what's going on there. But if you don't have that one-on-one connection with your consumers and your customer base, that's not going to help you. You can have the greatest product in the world, but if you can't get out to them and explain to them and talk to them and interact with them, then that's not.
Yeah.
And that's another story.
The worst.
That's another.
Literally the worst thing I saw this week. This is like it's like there's a sign at the Starbucks near my house that basically says that you could place your order before you walk into Starbucks.
Well, they had the Santa Claus commercial.
And it's so painful to me to like even think and consider that. Even a person that I'm about disruption. I'm not. I'm like I get typecast in the digital, but I like disruption and whatever is disrupting to get eyeballs on content. And the fact of the matter is that coffee places should serve as a place that there should be human interaction.
Right.
But you walk in and everybody's staring at their phone, and you should be able to communicate with the person behind the desk. And now Starbucks is saying, hey, let's let you order this from the parking lot. It's painful for me to see that they actually have it. But in any case, I get the reason why.
And that's the whole thing too, is that I just read an article. I didn't get a chance. I read the headline. It was for Adweek, where I forget what company it was that hired 2 YouTube influencers.
Yeah. That's
to go out and talk to kids about getting out away from their digital toys, getting away from it and interacting on a human level. And getting out there doesn't mean like talking to your friends on FaceTime or Facebook Live, like actually being right there.
Socializing.
Like this,
And look, hey, I mean, obviously we have some influence with this show and what we do online. But really at the end of the day, the minute that I can cross over into doing in-person workshops, in-person consultations.
It's so much.
And 200 people coming to an event, that was magical. And so, agreed. We got to put a button on this for today. First of all, I'd like to thank Valley Digital Services for being a sponsor of today's event. And Socket Knot Branding and Design. Mike Pontikos is a boss when it comes to branding and design. Check out his website. Just check his website out.
Socket Knot, yeah.
You're going to love it. And if your branding needs help, this guy can help you. He's the creative director for DOYO Live, the digital marketing conference taking place August 3rd, 2017. Last but not least, I'd like to tease next week. Next week is going to be epic. We have Mr. Ralph Fajak has invited me to do a DOYO Live with him. And I love it because Ralph's an influencer. Ralph has a huge social media following in the area. We're going to talk a little bit about how and why he's built up his social media following. He provides a ton of inspiration, I think, and a lot of motivation just through his social media platforms. So that's going to be a special, I don't know if we're going to call it the Christmas special, but it could be. I think Ralph and I are probably going to grab a beer and we're going to talk a little bit about social media some other fun stuff.
Can I bring my ugly sweater?
You can bring the ugly sweater, but I'm going to warn you now, Ralph is a personality that can carry this show by himself. I will not be needed, but thanks for co-piloting today. We're going to have you back as a regular. And anyway, everybody have a
Happy
great
holidays,
weekend.
everyone.
Great weekend. Merry Christmas. And take care, everybody. Thanks so much for dropping by.